This is the best analogy I have ever heard for a Christian who keeps going back into the same sin willingly. Okay? So, back in the day, the Eskimos had problems with wolves. So, they decided to do something about this. And that something was that they would take 8-inch long blades, coat them in a layer of animal's blood, put them in the ground to freeze, rinse and repeat for a couple of days so you have this thick red bloody popsicle on a blade. Now, they would put it outside, wait for the wolves to come, and the wolves would obviously smell it from miles away, and they would come and they would start licking that blade. They would start licking that blade, they would start licking the cold blood, the frozen blood, eventually, until they got to the center of the forbidden Tootsie Roll Pop. Now, because they were licking frozen blood for probably a few hours, their tongues are numb. So they start cutting their tongue up, and they don't even notice because their tongues are numb from the frozen blood. Now, obviously, their tongue starts turning into ribbons and bleeding and everything. They smell their own blood, they're getting into a further feeding frenzy. Now they're licking even harder. They lick for so long that their tongues start to fall apart and they can't lick anymore. And eventually they go off into the wilderness somewhere and they die of blood loss. It's the same thing with the Christian who keeps going back into the same sins willingly. Every single time you decide to dabble in it, you take an extra lick of that ice blade. You start getting numb to the sensation, and eventually that sin starts to shred your soul up, and it starts to cut you up so badly that you fall apart and you die.